So before we ship any unit, a sales guy has to do a full walk on it. So it's already made it through quality control and all, all the processes that we do in house. And even that's even more than any manufacturer that I had, or line that, or plant that I had been a part of. So I'll just kind of give you guys the whole detail. I don't think I'd say anything out of bounds here, but we brought in this tablet system and for quality control. So essentially, every station has a checklist, and then every team leader has to go through that with that team, and everything has to go through a process. And by the time I get it, I got to go, kind of scroll all the way down on the screen to get to where it says sales walk. Mm-hmm. But as that unit is going down the line, there's a checklist. So, maybe you have a newer guy, or maybe a guy's sick that day, and, that he's the one that does this job and somebody else is filling in for him. So it's a much more structured process now. Yeah, and
I mean, we talk about process all the time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the whole entire
in the store.
Yeah, the whole entire RV business is, I really like documentaries. I like, watching stuff about history, and, you go back to, Henry Ford and how he revolutionized American manufacturing. Well, it was the same guy does the same thing every single day. Mm-hmm. And that's his part. Right. Mm-hmm. Instead of having, like a handyman, it's just like if you're going to have your house remodeled, right? Sure. You're not going to, it's nice to have a general handyman, sure. But if I'm going to get a new toilet or a plumbing problem changed, or, I want a plumber. Right. It's nice to have a guy who, knows a little about a lot, but I want the guy that knows a lot about a little. Mm-hmm. Right. And the same process is happening on the RV line. So as that's going down the line and it's going through all those checkpoints, by the time that I get to it, I'm really just being picky, like, did they not wipe the putty really well there? Or did they not line that trim piece up well? Or, mm-hmm. I run the slides in and out, I turn the ACs on, I turn the heat pump on, I'm, opening the microwave, I'm opening the, to make sure everything's good. I open every single door mm-hmm. in the entire unit to make sure it's lined up. I pull every drawer out, and then we have soft close drawers. So I kind of push it in there, do it itself to make sure those are working correctly. I do the leveling system. I just go through every little piece. And even before that we see it, it goes through a rain bay, which if you guys have never, I'm sure you guys have seen them, but, for the retail customer, might be watching this, that's incredible. I mean, it's like, it goes into like a monsoon, like a hurricane, and they do it with the slides in and the slides out. And, it just dumps water on this RV. So then, when I'm running the slides in and slide out, I want to make sure the seals are good. So is there any water in there when after it comes out of this rain bay? Is there, anything like that I might find? It gets taped. I look at the floor. I look at the roof, make sure there's no cuts. We have soft close or soft touch ceilings and, and the Georgetown and the FR3 and some of the segments, and making sure there's no cuts up there, looking at the floor, make sure there's no cuts there. Just really picky stuff that you want to make sure by the time it goes to your dealer that it's good. And, like now I'm on the road, so my teammates are doing it, but there's I want them to be successful. They want me to be successful. Right. So even if I'm not there walking a unit that's going to one of my dealers, I know it's going to be good. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of making sure that when it gets to the dealership, it's great, because not every dealer is, and I'm not putting dealers down, it's just a different way of doing business. Like you guys have a PDI process when it shows up. You do a full walk, you do everything, and then you clean it and you do everything else. Not all dealers do that. So, some dealers are more volume based or something along those lines, and that thing will show up, they check it, make sure it's good, they put it out on lot. Mm-hmm. Right. So it has to be good, because if it's not, then you won't be successful. So sure. Regardless of what you're getting into with any dealer, if it shows up and it's great, and the styrofoam or any sawdust is blown out of the ceiling, and the little things that happen along the way, that just happen just from building a unit. The more you can do to get it here and be perfect, the better.